before we get started, Emmett graduated back in 2019, so I will be doing a presentation. He will be able to answer your questions at the end. My name is Jacob Cordero. This is Emmett Deen, and we founded IGNTE, revolutionizing live stream sponsorship. So, a little bit about us. Emmett's the tech guy. He's got a degree in computer science. I'm the business guy. I have a degree in business administration. And so we've been building apps and software since 2014. We've been able to use those two different sides to create some really fun stuff. A little bit about exactly what our platform is, and let's start with this example. So what we do is basically allow companies an easier way of sponsoring on live streams. And so this is an example that I'm going to show you. It's got two parts to it. There's a graphic that's going to appear as well as a link in chat. And these are both very important. So in this example, let's imagine this is a live stream, and we're sponsored by Under Armour. Conventional means of showing advertisements, if you think about television, for instance, Under Armour will just show a commercial or something. But with live streaming, you can leverage engagement, and that's what our platform does. So you're going to notice it's going to blur. This is not something our platform does. This is just to kind of help show you what's happening. And basically, these two things kind of work together. So you'll notice, imagine this is a live stream. Under Armour advertisement pops up, and then a link appears in chat. Why is this valuable? Well, we can really drive engagement this way. Under Armour can kind of look at this advertisement, and they can advertise a specific article of clothing, for instance, and the link can take you to that specific location in their shop. So unlike commercials where you have to rely on the viewer going after the fact and searching online or something, anyone who's watching this live stream can immediately engage with this. And so this is extremely valuable. Why do we do it? Well, there's a lot of growth in the industry. Just alone last year, the live streaming industry was valued at $70 billion, and this is a 39% year-over-year growth. Specifically, one of the big parts of live streaming we're working in is the esports sector, and you can see sponsorship makes up a huge part of this, and this is the case all throughout live streaming. There's been a lot more money coming into the sponsorship part of live streaming, as companies are realizing that this is a really good way to engage and advertise to younger audiences. So what do we have to do? Well, we had to figure out the problem to solve. Very generally, we found this problem, and that is esports organizations are hard to manage. So one of the close partners we have that we've been working with is Ghost Gaming. They're an esports organization. And so they have to do a lot. They've got a lot of different teams, and so an esport is just any video game played competitively, and they have lots of different esports teams in video games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Rocket League, and they've got to manage over all of that. And so if we can find a way to make it easier to do what they do, that's valuable. And so that's what we ended up doing. We found we could solve two very specific problems. The first, we wanted to give orgs the ability to show sponsors on our live streams, so that's what I showed you in the example. But we found that kind of auxiliary to this. We can also give them statistics and performance on their creators that's very valuable to these organizations to kind of have this information. And so we bundled these two things together, and the way we made it work is through our website. So it's live, it works, and it has users, and I'll be touching on the users in a little. And this is just a little bit about what the website does. So as I showed, those graphics can easily be managed through our console. So let's say you've got 100 people that are all streaming under a single organization. That org can very easily change and update the graphics. We've also got the individual sponsor performances, which is very valuable. So let's say you're Under Armour. You might find that some merchandise does better in certain video games. And so you can get that specific data back to be able to advertise and kind of cater to the needs of the streamers out there. And that's not something you can really do with more conventional media. We also allow that, or we ensure that streamers are onboarded, and things like just managing the employee database kind of helps make sure that the whole platform works well. How do we build this? Well, it's built in Flutter. Right now, IGNTE is cross-platform from a single code base, which gives us flexibility in the future. It is a web-based console right now, so you can just go to our website. But because it's built in Flutter, we can build out an app with this. We can put it on the phone, anything in the future, and it's quite easy to do. Part of the reason we use Flutter is because Emmett leads the official Googleback meetup for Flutter in Atlanta, and so his expertise and just overall experience allows us to really utilize Flutter to its maximum potential. So why have we been doing this? Well, in the last couple of months, actually since round one, we've been working to get orgs on board and actually make sure that this all works. And so, like I talked about earlier, Ghost Gaming is a partner of ours. They've got about 30 people using our platform, and they use it to advertise the partners and the merchandise. We also have Filthy Squad Gaming, who is someone we got on through Twitter advertisements, and they've been using it to promote their events. One of the big deals we're working on right now is getting Skate Velocity Esports. They've got about 400 people in. And so we've been working to make sure that onboarding goes smoothly. They're going to use it to advertise a new health drink sponsorship, and they actually reached out to us because they got this sponsorship and realized that they wanted a new way of advertising it. Panic Gaming we've got on, and they've got about 40 people they've been using our platform to drive their affiliate links. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can use that, what I showed in the example. There's a lot of different things you can do with just that graphic that pops up in a link in can chat. And these are just some examples of what orgs are doing. Well, why? Why is there so much growth? Why are orgs looking for new ways to advertise? Because there's a lot of money coming in. So you got a lot of drink companies that have realized that a good way to advertise to younger audiences, millennials for instance, is through live streaming. Red Bull's got about 500 million plus. Coca-Cola has been putting in $5 million a year for the last 7 years, and they're realizing that this is a really good way to advertise to young consumers. But also bigger companies. Mercedes-Benz has sponsored quite a few tournaments in esports, giving away cars. And then you've got Comcast and Xfinity that offer things like internet packages, and all of these companies are advertising. There's a lot of money, as I showed earlier, there's a lot of money coming in through sponsorships. And so how can we kind of extract this revenue? How can we make money off of it? Well, our philosophy is a pay-per-seat software as a service model. Pay-per-seat is important because orgs vary in size, and the more people using our platform, the more it costs us in overhead, which I'll show in a little, and so we kind of pay per seat to cover that. Right now we've got a free tier, so any account made is made on the free tier. They have limited access to some of the things they can do. And so the big thing that we have here is the basic tier, and then we're working on enterprise solutions. And so the basic tier is important. Most of the orgs that we talk about aren't making a lot of money yet because they don't have a good way to advertise. And so by offering this low price point, we can get them in, and then once they start making money off the advertisements using our platform, we can try and upsell them to our plus tier or whatever premium tier looks like. Some of these orgs, though, are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they've got millions of dollars of revenue coming in. So we're working on enterprise solutions to cater to that top percent. That way we can extract as much out of all of these different orgs as possible. That's the money coming in. What about the money going out? Well, here are our server costs for the month of February, 34 cents to run the platform. It's very low. So when we talk about kind of covering all this, and this includes all the onboarding that I showed you with those orgs, we do tests every single day, and so it costs very little to run this. And actually, we've just had a new update that Emmett pushed out that kind of optimizes this even more to save us more money. So our overhead is very low, which means that money we get in can immediately be put out. And what do we plan on doing with that money? Well, in the last few months, we've really been working on marketing and sales. And so before round 2, we kind of worked on Twitter advertisements because we wanted to figure out the outreach we could get there. And then we realized that was working well, but we wanted to make landing pages and kind of work on our funnel. So here's 2 examples of landing pages we made with just slightly different language, where we wanted to do some A/B testing to see what works. And so in the last month, we've been able to do quite a bit of testing to make sure that the money that we get in from Tiger Cage is spent on marketing in the most efficient way possible. And since our overhead is so low, most all of the money that we get is going to be on acquiring new customers and getting them onto our platform. And so just this little bit of testing has gone a long way. So our competitive advantages, which is very important. First, market product, which we have been moving on quickly. That's part of why we wanted to make sure that our marketing makes sense, and then that we've optimized it. That way we can really make sure that we're moving on it. We've also got some industry-leading partners. Ghost Gaming, a very large organization, but we also work with streamers, live streamers, just to make sure that we're solving the problem. So ultimately, we need to make sure that we are solving the problem. We have lower costs, which is very important. We can run this 34 cents a month. We can run this, and it just allows us to be flexible. Emmett and I have got combined 15 years of experience and a passion and familiarity that are very important in this industry. We've gotten a lot of wins from clients just because we have a presence in the space. And so we've actually had quite a lot of people come to us, not because of advertising, they just found us. And because we're solving a problem and because we are familiar with it, we're able to leverage that. So why now? Companies are convinced that this is the way that things are moving and that this is a very good way to advertise. But the way they're doing it is very conventional. This is a live stream. Sometime late last year, Ralph Lauren partnered with a very large organization, G2. And this is their live stream. This was a huge deal that Ralph Lauren had partnered with them, and you can't even tell that. If you see in the small little webcam in the corner, you can tell that they're wearing polo merch. That was it. Ralph Lauren paid all this money to partner. They dropped a whole new line of merchandise. And the only way that you could go and find this new shop was if you plugged in the URL. If they were on our platform, you can imagine every minute, every 30 seconds, however long, a advertisement will pop up on the stream, advertising the different pieces of merch, and any viewer can immediately click on that and be taken to Ralph Lauren's store. And there's just nothing like that out there right now. The reason is companies are treating this like it's a conventional media, and so they're treating it like television where you can't immediately engage. And the beauty of live streaming, the reason we think it's so valuable, is because you can, the viewer, can immediately engage. And so that is what we offer, and that's why we think it's so important to move on this now. We've been live streaming this, so if anyone wants to scan the QR code, you can actually look and see how the platform works. But that is it. We are ready for questions. Yeah, you can chat.
Yes, so we're pretty early on. Right now, it's still the onboarding phase, so most of the teams are onboarding in free tier, and then we've had verbal commitments from these teams to upgrade once they get everybody onboarded and tested.
What's the difference between the basic and the premium?
So the premium version right now is going to offer increased targeting. So my best example is like a company like Logitech. Logitech sells all kinds of different peripherals for gaming. So a shooter game, you might want to advertise a mouse, whereas a racing game, you might want to advertise a steering wheel. That system is basically going to allow you to determine who's playing what game and show targeted ads based on that.
To piggyback on his question, what did you decide to go from $4.99 to $14.99? How did you come up with $10?
Right now, we do think that the pricing could change in the future. We basically just wanted to basically increase the price enough to where it would only be the more premium teams. So we're trying to balance how many features we add with our pricing currently. And it is something we're going to continue to visit. We think this is probably the cheapest our system will ever be. And for pricing in general, we're also looking at doing personal options as well. So right now, this is all organization-based, but we're also toying with the idea of opening it up to individual creators who might have affiliate links at even lower price points than they'll be individuals.
Is the technology patentable? We are working on a patent.
When I was here at Auburn, I actually talked to people from Tiger Cage and a couple of lawyers. It's very difficult to patent software. You can copyright software, but it's very difficult to patent. The best example of this is when Snapchat came out with stories. Instagram came out with stories very soon after. If they were unable to get a patent to stop that, then it's going to be very unlikely that we can. Yeah.
So I'm curious as to, it's live, so you can change things in real time. So the customer uses your platform to figure out what ads they want to put up. It's not predetermined like TV. So there's a commitment on their end to have somebody that's monitoring this, because you guys just give them the opportunity.
Yeah, one of the important things with Twitch is that the burden of showing proper ads or anything falls on the organization. So they've got to find the sponsors, and if they do anything that is not of terms of service, that doesn't fall on us. That's on the org to make sure that they follow.
Are you looking to build like a marketplace for sponsors if they don't have a home to use your platform to find an audience to target?
Yes, we actually have looked into that. Actually, a while ago, we built out a whole version that was meant for individual creators, and it was a little more of an advertising network. We found it was very difficult for us to go sell an unproven advertising network with very few people on it to advertisers. So that's when we got in touch with Ghost Gaming, actually by going to a panel that they spoke at, and they loved the platform. They said they wanted this just to manage their org, and that's why we ended up building this.
So you showed an example of what doesn't work. I didn't see an example of what you guys have working. Like, what would it look like? Is it
Okay, the video near the beginning is an example of how it would work, with the one difference being, if you can imagine this is a live stream, the entire video would be moving. It's basically the two main parts to it are the graphic will pop there. The graphic pops up and then the link appears in chat. And so ultimately that's what we offered, are those two features.
Yes.
So is it a dual revenue stream from advertising and monthlies?
So right now we're not taking any of the sponsorship deal that the org actually acquires themselves, but we have discussed with enterprise solutions if they have really big deals or high traffic needs that we may take a percentage cut of the sponsorship deals that they would be selling.
Maybe I have another question on this backside. So maybe I don't understand the technology, so I apologize. But why would it be better to get as many people on the platform as you can for free, people than just monetize the revenue from the advertising? Because I like that.
That's basically what our first system was like, and we did have a lot of people sign up, but we found most of the creators that were signing up to make a little bit of money were very small creators, which it wasn't necessarily somebody advertisers would want to sponsor, so it was very difficult for us to go out to sponsors to try and win their business that way. Yes,
Is it a Twitch specific solution? Is it integration?
right now it is Twitch integration only. We're working on the Facebook Live and YouTube gaming, so we've already been asked for that and it's on our roadmap.
Single platform.
Yes.
So the individual streamer is the person that is your customer.
And orgs, and so these orgs will have a lot of streamers under them. Part of the reason we target these orgs, these organizations, is because some of them have 400 streamers, and so by winning one single client, we can get 400 people paying for our platform.
So when you say it's 70 million, that's what you're talking last year, right?
Yeah, so we can get you Twitch numbers as well. The Twitch numbers, especially over COVID, have spiked significantly, but there's been quite a lot of money in gaming as of recent. There's actually a esports org, it's the first org ever that's about to IPO for $1 billion+ valuation issue.
So when you say you're solving a problem, is it solving a problem, or is it just introducing a new market that appeals to the younger demographic?
It's a little bit of both. The person we're solving the problem for is the Ghost Gaming, because the Ghost Gaming, he's the CEO of Ghost Gaming, he's on the board, and he describes it as all the people playing games professionally are 18 to 21-year-olds that all they want to do is play video games, and they're joining the org because the org makes it possible for them to do this for a living. But actually managing 18 to 21-year-olds is very difficult, because all they want to do is play video games. So this software is meant to help make it easier for them. So one huge value add for them was actually that onboarding process, is making sure, okay, everybody's set up, nobody's having issues right now. So we almost have like a status monitoring page, which was a huge win for them.
No suspense for the two of you. You get 2 awards. You get the $25,000 for first place, and you get $5,000 of services in kind from Burr and Foreman, and they're going to want you over there.